Exactly, that's the way it's going down. It's Westwood Radio 1 now. The next couple of hours is hip-hop. You know, we've got MD, 12 Stack Crop in the building. It's going to be some strong language. If that's not what you want, come back later. And if you've been offended, I apologize. But that's the way it's going down. We're not in the radio station right now. We're on the street corner doing some real cool hip-hop. Ain't that right, Proof?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Exactly. Now, I really feel at this precise moment we're just holding back an epic freestyle which is about to rip down the building. That's how it feels in here. I mean, Swift, would you agree that, like, we're really on the launch pad for another epic freestyle in the building?
Yes, I agree.
You know what I mean? I feel like really sort of I'm cop blocking at this stage, the freestyle.
Tim, you always make us do it, man.
Exactly.
You force us to do it, man.
Exactly, man.
Got these big guns in here pointed at us.
Exactly. That's how we get down.
Yeah. Tim Westwood always make us put our best foot forward.
Tim Westwood put us in our best foot.
We promise not to say Tim Westwood and best foot.
Right.
Oh, I'd appreciate that.
One time.
Thanks for promising that. I appreciate that.
No doubt.
So, Swift, congratulations for the D12 prize. You know what I mean? European Music Awards. That was a great look in Rome for you.
Good looking out,
I'm real pleased. You know what I mean?
Good look for hip hop. Real
good
big look
look
for hip hop.
Yeah, man. And I definitely.
D12 finally won an award, which we're great.
Yeah,
That's what's up, baby.
I feel like
about overdue, baby.
It's overdue. People been
sleeping on the band. Exactly. And I want to say congratulations that you've sold 800,000 in the UK. I mean, that's an incredible look. 800,000 at the Encore. That shit is out of here. Number one for the second week running. Crazy. I mean, there's nothing big like that.
That's crazy, and that's why, that's one of the reasons why we're here, man. To show the love back. Everybody's showing love, so gotta come out here and show my love back the same way the fans support me, support my group, and support everything, every project that we do. So
exactly,
that's why we're out here to make it go bananas, homie. Bananas. Drop the new bomb on them, Tim.
My bomb game is pretty intense at this precise moment, I've been working towards my bomb game for tonight as an intense look. Stack Crow is definitely open to my bomb game.
I'm feeling it, man. We gotta bring
his bomb game.
I mean, Flex isn't really, his bomb game's not as tight as it used to be, and I've really upped my, up my ante.
You take your bomb game to another level.
Exactly, man. I keep my bombs tight right now.
I ain't mad at you, big dog.
You could say bomb or you could say bomb, like that Cali bomb. That Cali bomb, that Cali bomb weed, homie. Oh. That's what I'm talking about.
It's got that Hiroshima bug.
That Hiroshima. So anyways, man, the album's out. Encore's in the stores right now. You gotta go get it.
Now, this to me is the epic Eminem joint. I ain't gonna front, man. This to me is like hip-hop 2005, you know what I mean? You're at your most personal and most emotional, most open. It's totally different from the single. It takes you elsewhere, man.
As usual, I feel like, once again, thank you, but, we kind of, that's usually the usual setup, you know what I'm saying? We stuck to the game plan.
Yeah.
The single is to lure you in and to get you to listen to the record, and, we always got to hit him with that first club record that's a little bit crazy, and then...
Yeah, the great video, the catchy pop tune, and then, boom, take you somewhere else, man.
And then definitely take you somewhere else. And,
I mean, that first single must be pressure as much as the album is pressure.
The first single is definitely pressure because you gotta feel like you hit the clubs, the streets, the kids. You gotta hit, you know what I'm saying, TRL. You gotta hit MTV, BET. You gotta hit everything, at the precise time with one song,
And it's a make or break because everyone wants to say, oh, you're falling off or you ain't come right. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I always try to display, even if the beat is like a happy up-tempo and the hook is like a little bubblegumish, I always try to come with the rhymes inside it to make, to let you know, like give like the hip-hop heads, quote-unquote, that little taste of like, you know, I'm not falling off in this direction. So, you know.
And the album will put, the album put everything to bed. But in the video, why did you really go for Michael Jackson's nose in that situation?
Well, I mean, that was the urban legend that, you know, his nose fell off during a concert, and we wasn't trying to clown on Michael no more than we was trying to spoof my own self from the Just Lose It video or Madonna or MC Hammer or Pee Wee Herman, you know. But shit just got blown out of proportion a little bit, and I think, you know, once again, it's a case of, you know, things are only bad when I do them, and words are only bad when I say them.
Comedians do it all day.
I think Mike need a smoke screen. That's all he's using as an excuse.
Yeah.
Right. He got a lot of other
One of his main advocates don't do nothing but talk about people all day long, disrespect them. You know what I'm saying? He's a comedian. You know who we talking about, pimp. You know who. I hope you listening. You know what I'm saying? Cause you always dogging folk out. You know what I'm saying? You always talking bad about people.
He ain't gonna breathe hard. He ain't gonna breathe hardly. He hardly breathe hard.
It rhymes with breathe hardly.
Hey, dog. As a matter of fact, pimp, you the dude that rhyme with breathe hardly, where you get your hair cut at? Cause your line, you got one of them lines. You know what I'm saying? Just always just.
Hey, what killed me is that
crisp. It got that crisp line. Like, I don't know.
Like Mike just laid the head on. He's laid on top of his head.
I heard there's a rumor on the street that it ain't really your hair, but holler back at your boy though.
Oh.
Might be that rug. You know what I mean?
Oh.
That Persian rug.
That Persian rug. Hey, dog, and stop talking bad about rap music. You always got something bad to say about rap, man. Don't be mad, dog. Stop it, bruh. Stop hating on rap. Pimp.
Rap music is not going nowhere.
He's a hater.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yo, big up my man Obi Trice, 50 Cent G Unit.
Y'all feel like we wasting a lot of time right now.
D12 family.
There you go.
Woo!
That's what's up.
Oh, I like that one. I like that long drag.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh.
It's real nice. Real nice.
It's a nice bomb.
You got that bomb, like that Cali bomb. I'm
That's that
telling you,
bomb.
homie.
Exactly.
Hey, you can roll that up.
That's that bomb, fool.
That's his new bomb.
That's the new look for me, baby. So, now, what's your favorite track of the album?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta
My favorite track is Mockingbird.
Mockingbird.
Yeah, I was on time.
Man, that's incredible.
I would definitely agree with that one.
Deal.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my personal
Wow,
favorites.
that song's
That's
incredible.
definitely my personal favorite.
I want to have kids now. I want kids.
And does Haley like that song?
Yeah, she does. That was my song to my daughter and my niece to make them understand what was going on at the time, that, you know, all the craziness was going on, and just explain to them, you know, how Dad got famous and what went wrong between Mom and Dad, and, you know, try to explain it on a kid's level. So, you know.
And that's definitely, like a personal expression.
I think that anybody who's got kids, you know, and is going through drama like that, like, you know, family drama, should be able to understand to it and relate to it, and you know, possibly if you're true to your family, you love your kids, possibly shed a tear, you know, when you hear it.
Now, one of my favorite joints on there is Ass Like That. I mean, that's the real funny shit.
I have no idea where that came from.
Another planet.
The way you shake it, the way you move it.
Yo, that's some crazy.
The hook came about real quick, but the rhyme was like, where is this going? And I didn't know till the second verse. You know? Actually, I knew it towards the end of the first verse, matter of fact. But usually me and Dre just get in there when you know, when he's making the beats and I'm not producing, like I'm not making the beats, it's so much easier for me to just sit back and, like, you know, let him just do what he does, and, you know, just grab that track, like, oh, I want this one, and just run in the next room with it and just take it, you know. And it's you know, it's fun. It's fun. It makes rap fun again. It takes the pressure off. It's like, you know, I want to, you know, there's always going to be that certain level of, I want to impress Dre. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to hear what I'm doing until I'm at least halfway done with it, you know? And then I bring him in the room like a half hour later, like an hour later, whatever, and like, yo, Dre, check this out, you know, and at least have the hook and 2 verses to it to let him know where the song is going and whatnot.
I mean, what is it like working with Dre for you now? I mean, is it still...
And back to the Ass Like That, that was my little payback for Triumph. You know, the puppet dog who had got me a couple years earlier. at MTV before I knew who or what he was. And Ass Like That was basically saying, that was my comparison to people who don't see me as Slim Shady. When I play a character, there's a certain, you know, you have Marshall and you have Slim Shady and you have Eminem, and you may hear all three of those when I rap. You know what I'm saying? But people who see Triumph, the puppet dog, only see the puppet dog. They don't see the man behind it. So that was my comparison to people who don't see Slim Shady. You know what I'm saying? They only see Marshall. And that was my comparison. Like, how much can Triumph get away with because there's a puppet on his hand, you know? So that's what that song was about, basically.
Now, I love Evil Deeds. You know, you're speaking to the Lord, you're speaking to your father. I mean, what brought that about?
Evil Deeds was basically a song like, you know, I wanted Encore to jump off with a song that was like the whole thought process in my head as I'm being lifted up in that Ferris wheel, like my thoughts are racing, and I wanted people to be able to kind of get a glimpse into what it's like to be me and to have these expectations to live up to, and to as I'm getting lifted up in the Ferris wheel, like all my thoughts are racing. That's why you may hear, you know, thoughts just jumping from, you know, bouncing back and forth, because my thoughts go crazy in that Ferris wheel. You know what I'm saying? As I'm lifted up, you know, before a show. The Ferris wheel, you know, the Ferris wheel basically is before a show. You know, I'm lifted up in that Ferris wheel, and I'm lifted about 40 feet in the air.
Right.
And then, you know, I'm looking down at the crowd. The crowd can't really see me, but I can see some of the crowd, and it's just thoughts racing. So.
Now, the shit I don't understand is Rain Man. I mean, that's just some crazy...
Me neither.
Yo, Rain Man to me,
what is that?
Is a mature Slim Shady dude. That's Slim Shady.
Is that what that is?
At his finest. That's him right there.
I mean, it's a great song.
All right, he back out the cage. Slim Shady back in the studio. That's him.
It's just one of them things, man.
That was just some crazy mad, like mad funny, but like I didn't understand it.
Planet Rain Man.
It was just saying, like, this is all I know how to do. You know, discussing like my social life and just being, you know, like knowing how to do everyday things, like pay bills and things like that. Like, I done forgot how to do all that. Like, I'm not good at doing that stuff. So, you know, I felt like it was my way of saying the only thing I'm good at is rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that I really have. If it wasn't for rap, I obviously wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be anything, really. You know, maybe a father, but, you know, other than that, maybe a father who couldn't provide for his kids, but this was, you know.
I mean, that you know, Superman,
that's about the sanest explanation you'll probably get about Rain Man.
That shit's out of here, man. I mean, Superman's got no legs. All of that is just some wild. Like, what's that? And the more you hear it, it doesn't make sense. Now, like Toy Soldiers, there's a lot of explanation and like explaining your side of the story, which just makes sense. Of like how, you know, you was disappointed in the Source attacking you because they helped create you. Why the stuff with Ja Rule's happened. You know, you were talking 50 out of going into beef with him. And how you want to, you know, be the bigger man and shut it down, and you don't want any coffins on your conscience. I mean, did you feel you had to put that out there so people understood where you were at with it?
Yeah, I felt like, you know, definitely it was my way of like trying to give people an inside look on how, you know, the beef, how this particular beef started, but how a lot of beefs start in a similar way. You usually get somebody talking shit about somebody who you never know who really started it. You know what I'm saying? But you just know that, you know, somehow you end up being thrown in the mix, and then, you know, it gets crazy. And, you know, people die over this, people get hurt over this, and it was basically my way of just saying, look, we're walking away from it. You know, we're just trying to be the bigger man and throw our hands up. Like, we're done with it. You know, that beef is going on for like 2 years. It's been going on for almost 2 years now, and it's ridiculous. It's come to the point now, it's like, if you're gonna do something, do something. If you're not, then don't do it at all. You know what I'm saying? Just cut it out. Let's just stop.
I mean, it really explains how you feel towards it and how you didn't want it and how you want it, you know, you want closure now.
I mean, in hip-hop, we usually try to diffuse most beefs that, you know what I'm saying, that are thrown our way. You know, we usually try to talk them out. It's not like a Backstreet Boy thing. It's not like you know what I'm saying, you're attacking pop artists here. This is people who feel like their lives are on the line. And it's dog eat dog. This is, you know, hip-hop it's a whole different world. It's a whole different, mentality and everything. This is people who feel like, you know, I may feel like, or you may feel like your career is on the line. You know what I'm saying? Your life is on the line, and somebody's trying to attack that, and you got to fire back. And when you do fire back, you fire back publicly. You see that person in real life or in person, and more than likely, there's going to be a confrontation that goes down. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be somebody that's in the entourage of somebody's entourage that's going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's basically our way of just saying, look, we're tired of it. If, you know, and the song pretty much explains itself, so.
And that beef, 2 years down the line, it doesn't seem over. It just seems that it could just go on forever for everyone, for the length of people's career.
It just seems like if we don't walk away from it right now, it's going to keep going. It's going to be just like a one-sided thing. It's just going to be like, you know, I mean, the fans are going to form their own opinion eventually and just be like, man, cut it out. Just stop.
And that song really puts that out there, that it's time for closure. It makes no sense. And it shows how you got dragged into it as well.
Yeah, it shows how from my side I got dragged into it, and how 50 from his side being signed to Shady Aftermath got dragged into it from my side, and you know how it just, you know, the whole family tree like branches out. D12 got dragged into it. It's like, you know, our names were being thrown into stuff, you know, certain members of our crew, like, you know, getting in scuffles at other places, you know, and just things going down. And it was like, you know, I feel like, you know, for a minute I started feeling like Bush, like if I'm gonna send my soldiers to war, like, you know, and I've said it on a record before, like I don't want to send my soldiers to war if I can't be there, if I'm not in the same fight with them, if I'm not in the middle of it. So
that's because he likes to fight.
Now, on the subject of beef, what's your take on the Vibe Awards and what happened out there?
The Vibe Awards basically disgust me. The Vibe Awards disgust me, and that's the type of behavior that I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm talking about on Toy Soldiers. And I mean, I hate to say it, but you know, I spoke with Dre, I spoke with 50, and it's like, I mean, as far as what was said, I mean, you know, Toy Soldiers was the first thing that came to mind. It was like the timing was perfect, you know, for that record to come out,
really.
And then that to happen. It's like, you know, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, it's the bullshit. So, excuse my language, but it just disgusts me. It's not the days of, you know, MC Shan and KRS-One, you know.
Or even Jay-Z and Nas, it's some different things.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
And I'll ask you a couple more about the other tracks, like Never Enough. That's definitely heartfelt. That's something that seems like a struggle that you always have to go through.
Never Enough? With Nate Dogg? Song with me and 50 and Nate Dogg? That was just a collaboration that came together. I mean, I had the verse and Nate Dogg came in, laid the hook, we put 50 on it, and that was like a little you know, quickie, like get in, get out. You know,
get it done. Yeah.
Get 50 on the record. You know, 50's on the record like 2-3 times. You know,
Puke is definitely heartfelt and hilarious.
Puke wasn't really necessarily planned word for word, but you know, I felt like I had to get it off my chest. So,
I mean, out your stomach.
Yeah, out my stomach, not necessarily off my chest, out of my stomach, like, you know, literally. And you know, there's a lot of issues on the record from track 1 to track 6 or track 7 that you probably hear that it's like, okay, let's get the bullshit out the way. Now let's have fun. You know, and then, you know, there's a couple more things that are heartfelt on the record, and then, you know, it goes back to that party vibe. And I always try to balance that out on each record, and, you know, just hope people can see it and appreciate it.
Mosh is definitely taking you somewhere else with that. Are you going to do more, like deal with the politics more?
Mosh is about as political as I get, and probably as I've ever gotten. You know, as far as like lashing out, you know, at a certain, you know, lashing out at Bush and speaking my mind on what he's done, in my opinion, and what he's done to our country and all that. But you know, I definitely don't like what I see, and wasn't happy about the election, and this year was the first year that I voted. And it's like, I mean, you know, now it's in God's hands, you know, what he does for the next 4 years to our country, and hopefully he doesn't run it into the ground, and hopefully he doesn't make another 4 years worth of fake promises that he can't keep. So, but to see what he does, gotta sit back and put the pressure on him. But I don't think it's time for nobody to give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta keep, like, everybody who's got a voice. I mean, everybody, every person on this earth has got a voice, but everybody who's, you know, got a voice in rap and got a voice in music and has got a voice that speaks to people, speaks to more people, and touches more people, no pun intended, needs to, you know, just keep the pressure on.
Now, a couple of things. When are you going to tour the UK, and how are you going to do that?
We don't know yet. We're not sure. We got a little plan in the works.
Okay.
But
how crazy? How big?
Well, I mean, Tim, everything we do, we try to keep it big. So
yeah.
In your mouth.
Now, we asked people to ask questions on the website. We had about 3,500 questions, and about 2,000 of those.
Oh, well, I'm here to answer all 3,500.
Exactly. I appreciate that, but about 2,000 was about the new Tupac album, Loyal to the Game. Like, crazy response. It caught me unaware. I didn't even know, like, that. I mean, that's obviously on the web, leaked, and cats were asking, like, about it. I mean, what's your take on Loyal to the Game? I mean, Running was a tremendous smash for you and Park. You really brought that heat. How you feel about Loyal to the Game?
Loyal to the Game was, you know, Resurrection was my chance to get my feet wet with producing outside of my camp, you know, and just doing the Biggie and Tupac record, the Running record. That was a chance for me to get my feet wet, you know, as far as producing, like I said, outside of the camp or whatever. But doing those 3 tracks on Resurrection was crazy. And then, you know, basically me reaching out to Afeni and just saying, like, look, you know, let me just try to get the whole record, and let me just try to do, you know, just work my magic with him, because I feel like I got Pac and I understood him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like,
because you're a big Pac fan.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
fan.
You know, I put it out there before, and people know that, people understand that, and hopefully people respect it, and, you know, hopefully my tracks on this record have done him justice, and you know, reached out to Afeni and wrote her a letter of, you know, basically what her son meant to me and most people in hip-hop, and, you know, basically like asking her for her blessing, and she gave it to me, and I just went in the studio and went bananas with it. So.
And what do you think Pac meant to hip-hop?
What do I think Pac meant to hip-hop? Definitely my definition of a soldier. Definitely emotion to the game. He was one of the first rappers for me to be able to let me know that it was cool to express myself, whether I was mad or, you know, I was upset, I was sad, I was angry, you know, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? To me, he was the best overall songwriter, and the quickest. I mean, obviously the quickest, because
crazy, yeah.
I mean, you got so many songs by him. It's ridiculous.
Now, you've definitely set up Dre's Detox album. So what's the story on that?
Oh, by saying we're gonna make Dre do it.
Yeah.
We're pushing him, man. We're pushing him. We're trying to get him to do it,
man.
You know, we got to get that. We got to get him amped up. So,
yo, man, Encore really just felt like the setup for Detox. The track, you really just you feel like when you shout out Dre, you're gonna do Detox at the end of that. You just feel like you can feel Detox coming.
yeah, hopefully shooting my fans at the end didn't put like a little damper on that. But you know, that was my way of saying, you know, wherever we're going next, I'm taking you with me. You know.
How do you think you've changed from like day one to now?
Well, as you grow with you know, as a person, you grow lyrically, you grow mentally. You know, there's part of you that stays a kid, there's part of you that grows, and you know, fatherhood and all that stuff has definitely brought me to a different level of thinking, and it makes me think twice, you know, which is one of the reasons why I would write a song like Toy Soldier, one of the reasons I would write a song like Mockingbird, you know. But there's also that part of me that, you know, I have fans that I don't want to let down, and I've said that from day one. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, you know, I know most of the people that I'm reaching. I know most of my fan base, and I know like those people that I need to not let down who buy my record. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that there's this part of me that I gotta satisfy for myself. So, you know, with every record, it's gotta come to a certain level of expectation that you know, I gotta satisfy myself and the fans. So,
what do you think is your most classic track you've done?
It's hard to say. I would have to let the fans judge that because, you know, I constantly try to top myself, you know, lyrically and beat wise, and you know, 3 years ago I wasn't as good at making beats as I feel like I am now. You know, I'm learning new tricks on a drum machine and lyrically getting better and trying to step it up. So, you know, I feel like I'm always learning stuff. So, you know,
I think where you're at now is the most incrediblest. Having
thank you.
been from day one with you, I think where you are now, it's just like
I appreciate
exactly
that.
where I want you to be. You know what I mean? Ain't good up front, man. Yeah. That's exactly how I'm feeling it right now.
Well, thanks, Tim. That
Yeah,
means a lot
man.
to me, man. As he cracks open a Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Yo, man, you got the Tupac joint, you want to throw that on?
We're ready.
All right, let's throw some Park on. Let cats get open for that in the UK. I want to thank you. You always come through and bless us, you know what I mean? Everyone wants something for you, and I always lean into you for the hot freestyle, you know what I mean? And everything else which goes with it, so.
Hey, Tim, can I say one thing?
Yeah, dog.
Rest in peace, ODB.
Exactly. We're doing a big tribute to ODB
Definitely,
tomorrow, man.
definitely.
Rest in peace,
Yeah,
ODB.
ODB was definitely a
in
friend
peace.
of ours, man. And like, he came into the show a few times. We've got some like crazy showtime tomorrow when we play back those shows. Yeah, man.
So that's my drop. Rest in peace, ODB.
Word. I think M should intro this Tupac Loyal to the Game record.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give a little
Oh, yeah.
story about it.
Yeah, just for the person who's hearing it the first time, Loyal to the Game, listen to the very end, because I don't know where it came out of, but just listen to the very end of the record. This is Loyal to the Game featuring 50 Cent with G-Unit.
And we out of here.
And we out of here.
Thanks for coming by, man. Your show is crazy love, man. Thank you, sir.
No doubt.